One of the things we've recently done is kind of surveyed some of our current customers, and we did that this year. And one of the things that kind of resonated in that survey, we asked all sorts of questions, but as you can see here on this slide, first and foremost, those customers, when they've embraced, the digital audit, we'll simplify it saying that, right? And the kind of the various elements in inflow that resonate around that. Really what came back to them as being those benefits is efficiency in delivering insights, right? There were definitely all those other benefits that Mark just mentioned, but these were the top two that came back. As well as you see kind of on the right-hand side, some of the other salient points that jumped out, right? That I think everybody that was in there kind of saw the benefits. They said these were the things that helped us and they kind of have the path forward. But I'll point your attention to that top 70%, right? When we asked about the challenges of kind of embracing, inflow and moving forward and implementing, it came back to that cultural change. And what's interesting is the way that was responded, it didn't come back just as culture, right? It kind of was personified in different terms and phrases. But that culture is very paramount. And what I mean by that is working with firms all over, whether that's the US to Australia and everywhere else, we see this constant kind of nagging feature of, well, if the firm hasn't embraced and really put their foot down and drawn a line in the sand and said, yep, we're moving forward, we know that we need to change, people will choose not to, right? If you're saying, oh, is this something that if we don't do it, are we going to get in trouble? Or is it just strongly recommended that we do it? People are always going to fall into that, well, let's just do what we did last year, right? We all know in the heat of battle, whatever service you're performing, you say, well, we didn't do this last year and we finished the audit, right? There's always that kind of constant friction. And so I think it's really important because here, it's not just about putting the technologies in place. I'll talk about that in just a second. It's really this bigger picture idea. And I hate to kind of be the hearts and minds or that ethereal framing, but it's really about embracing this and leveraging that data. Because a lot of it, when we take the step back and we start talking about the digital audit, it starts with this mindset and that cultural change. And able to unlock or kind of value, maximize all of the propositions of the benefits that we just talked about, you really have to jump in kind of both feet first. And so when we talk about the culture, and again, I don't want to get on a soapbox and kind of keep beating this, but it is very important, I think, in the accounting profession, because again, when you talk about audits, there's rules, right? There's standards. And like I said before, it's not that those standards disallow the use of technology and these things. It's just they haven't been able to catch up to the pace of change that's occurring. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges I see, and why I think all these firms came back and said that it's the culture change, because it's more than just adding new modules or going to the Inflow website to kind of utilize day to day. It's the bigger picture, right? It really requires you to take a real hard look at what you're doing in the process and what you actually want to provide as a service provider. Because I think now more than ever, the evolution of technology, right, is really going to start impacting public accounting, right? There's not going to be that lag that used to be there, right? I think when I talk with audit firms every day, we really sit down and say, yeah, this is going to have to be a new process, right? Whether you need a new committee or you need a new steering group, you need to really understand what technology is out there and constantly be challenging yourself on what you're providing. And guess what? That also means you need to challenge your end customer, right? I know there's such thing as technology fatigue, but we have to get past that, right?